Good morning, everyone. I'm doing it from my mobile. I'm actually hosting it. My name is Jeff Chubb. I am a team leader up here or over here in Boston, Massachusetts. I am. Well, believe it or not, grew up outside of Philadelphia, so I'm an Eagles fan and a Phillies fan, but don't hold that against me. So I've got some great team leaders here, or icon agents that are here with me today. Do you guys want to start with introductions?
Yeah, sure. I'll start. Or Jeffrey, whichever. Okay, I'll start. My name is Camaro. Welcome, everyone. I am coming here from the Tampa Bay area. I have been in the business 23 years. I am a solo agent with a partner. We sell about, on average, 14 million a year. And I'm a broker associate and utilizing all the systems. I was with Remax prior for 17 years, and I've been with EXP for 2 years.
Great, thanks, Bree. Jeff, what about you?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Excited to be here. So, boy, 2.5 years with EXP. Spent 15 years with Remax prior. From the Seattle, Washington area. Been practicing 36 years. Solo agent. I do between 50 and 70 transactions each year, and just really excited to be here.
Thanks, Jeff. And how about you, Karen?
Oh, I think you got us mixed up. I'll go. This is Bree. Karen already talked.
Oh, sorry about that, Karen.
That's okay. Well, I'm seeing a common theme here. I've also been with EXP for coming up on 2 years, previously with Remax for 13. My name is Bree Phillips. I work in the Astoria, Oregon market. If you've ever watched the movie Goonies, that's my hometown. I am a team leader. Our team consists of myself and 3 other full-time agents. We do 60 million a year in volume with 160 transactions. A little bit about myself. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, entrepreneur, Airbnb superhost. And I just love being in this business to help people, not only clients, but to help the ladies on my team build wealth and build a business that they can be proud of.
Awesome. Great. And Kelly, are you here? Did I see you?
Yes, I am. I came in a little late, had to do a mic repair.
I was running from my car. So Kelly, do you mind telling everybody a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. I am Kelly Zimmerman. I'm in a little farm town about 30 miles north of Sacramento called Wheatland, but I serve Yuba and Sutter counties. And I've been with EXP in March. It'll be 3 years with EXP. Prior to that, I was with a little boutique brokerage, and I loved all the folks over there, but really wanted all of the technology, and that was ultimately why I came to EXP. And I have a little branch office here in Wheatland, and we have a military base here, so we have a lot of military clients that we serve. And I do have a small team, mostly new agents, and been mentoring them and just kind of showing them the ropes. And I actually really love helping new agents get started. And personally, I have, my husband and I have a blended family of 6 kids, but we're recently empty nesters. So lots of changes going on here.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks so much, Kelly. So let's just jump right into this because I'm sure people are wanting to know. So by the way, is anybody just a sole proprietor, no team?
I am.
Jeff, you are. All right, perfect, Jeff. And what about you, Bree?
I have a team.
You have a team. Okay, perfect. Jeff, let's start with you. So you're an icon agent. You did it solo all by yourself, which is awesome. what's your number one thing? What are you doing in order to find that success in order to become an ICON agent?
For me, it's a matter of waking up every day and being in the client generation business versus being in the real estate business. And it's something that I'm just acutely focused on. The second part is just you can only chase so many rabbits. There's a lot of different client generation opportunities out there. You just want to pick a couple and just really go and do a deep dive with them and make it happen.
So what are those client generation opportunities that you find to be most successful and work best for you, Jeff?
Well, for me, just totally different than probably every other agent out in the audience right now. So for me, I go after small to medium-sized companies to represent real estate services for their employees, just local crosstown move stuff, not relocation. So I just have a fully templated system. I can generate one transaction for every 100 employees that I generate, and it's a very predictive model, and I would welcome everybody in the audience to look into it more, because it's not your Zillow leads or anything like that. These are very kind, probably just second to none to a client referral. So
awesome. Not paying $250 a lead like some of us are in Zillow. That's great. So
right.
Does that mean you're tied in with human resources? Just give us the 30,000 foot view of what that generally looks like.
Yeah. I'll tell you. It is working with the HR department, and it's all about education. It's all about having a go-giver mentality, just with education, just educating employees, educating HR on the importance of home ownership, on how it makes for more stable employees, more productive employees. And I'll tell you, if you guys have any kind of a database from past clients or your sphere of influence, just ask them if they know of anybody that is a key employee, a HR manager, a manager, a business owner of a company between 50 and 1,000 employees. And you'll be up on stage next year.
Now, do you offer the company or the employees any type of incentive for working with you, or is it just because you're a great guy with an awesome name?
Yeah, just
awesome
pure
person.
education. Pure education, and they see you as the authority figure, and they'll work with you.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats on such an awesome, innovative model.
Yeah,
so,
thanks.
Bree, how about you? So you're running a team. How many agents are on your team, Bree?
So it's myself and 3 others.
Great.
And then we have 2 on the admin staff as well. So 40-hour-a-week business manager, and then a 20-hour-a-week listing coordinator. Jeff, I love your idea of working with large companies in the HR departments. Our team does something very similar to that. One of the things that I'm passionate about is bringing a strong healthcare community to our small town. Our town, just for reference, you guys, we have got about 10,000 people in our town, 30,000 in our county. So early on in my career, I hooked up with the local hospital's HR department, and I offered to do community tours as they recruited new docs coming in. And that was really wonderful because I got to be a part of the recruitment for these doctors coming into the market. But then when they moved here, guess who they called to buy a house? It was myself or my team. So that was proven to be a really, really neat strategy, and kind of just on the curtails of what Jeff said.
Yeah,
now,
that's awesome, Bree.
That's a great and amazing idea. Now, how have you scaled that, or how have you gotten your buyer's agents involved in that process, or is that something that's strictly for you?
So it's not strictly for me. I share it with the team. I am on the foundation board at the hospital, so they see me regularly. It also probably helps a little bit that my father-in-law was on the hospital board for 30 years as well. So we have a deep-rooted connection. So the way that I pitch it when the HR director calls me and I can't do the tour, I'll say, something like, you know what, Kelly, I'm busy that day, but my business partner, Deb, is available, and I know she'd be ready to help out Dr. Callahan. And that's how I present it, just like handing off any other lead. I'm really working hard to cut back on my production to get down to about 2 deals a month, 24 deals a year, and to give out those leads to the team. And this year so far, I've been able to accomplish that.
Awesome. Great for you. So Kelly, tell me, you're in California. Which market are you in California?
I'm up in Northern California. Yuba Sutter is my area.
Okay, great. And so what is your team? So how large is your team? How many buyers agents, and what's been your major pillar for success for your team?
So I have one team member that's actually out generating her own leads. She kind of actually helps with the mentoring. So a total of 3, and 2 of those are brand new that we're just mentoring at this point. And I would say, it's community involvement for me. I volunteer in the town. I've sat on a few boards. We actually created a website that is a community calendar. So we just do a lot for our town, and just kind of have, I guess you could call it, we become the mayor of our town, and that's where a lot of our business comes from, is just word of mouth and past client referrals.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Karen, how about you? What is your number one thing? What's been your pillar for success? I mean, so far we've heard very innovative ideas. I feel like I'm boring because I just use good old-fashioned Facebook and Google pay-per-click leads. What do you do, and what specific market are you in Florida?
Sure. I'm in the Tampa Bay area, and I am in an area called Palm Harbor, Tarpon Springs. It's North Pinellas County, just about 30 miles northwest of Tampa. And, when I started out over 20 years ago, I had just relocated to Tampa from Erie, Pennsylvania. So for me, I didn't know a soul. So I hooked up with the realtor that sold me my home, because I was licensed in Pennsylvania. And she was 20 years my senior. So I approached her about becoming partners with her. So I did a presentation, sat her down, and about 5 years later, we were 50-50 partners, and she had been selling new construction in an area that was just up and coming, where I currently live now. So we had the luxury of selling the homes new construction, and then converted our new construction to resale business. So we kept the communities and just have been in that geographical farm now for 23 years, which has really been my bread and butter. So that's, and she had since retired. So now it's me, and I have a partner, and it's the 2 of us, and we just, work together, and it's very relationship. My database,
With the geographic farming, are you doing anything specific in order to stay in front of that farm, or
yes.
Tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and honestly, it's so competitive. It's extremely competitive in our area. And there's times where you're going to lose market share, gain market share. You have to stay focused. I still do a mailing, which I know some people probably don't do, but I've been doing it for so long. It's kind of like my brand now. They're used to seeing it.
What type of mailing?
What I do is like a monthly market update of what has sold.
Is that on a postcard in a newspaper? What exactly?
Yeah, no, it's a 9x11, and on the front of it, it has all of the pending and sold sales for this community, which is about 2,300 units. And then on the back, just, calls to action.
That's
so
great.
We send that out, and then anytime we have a listing, just sold, just listed, under contract, just sold. So it's a continual, coupled with open houses, which I'm not doing right now just because of COVID, but coupled with open houses, people know me. And then when we get a new listing, we'll do some circle prospecting around that area, and also specifically focus on social media and online marketing to the geographical area.
Awesome.
So it's a combination of things.
Yeah, no, the one great thing out of COVID that's come out of this, I feel like, is open houses have kind of gone to the wayside. I'm all for that. But so for that 9x12, are you using every door direct mail in order for that mailing, or?
Yes, I absolutely am. It's so cheap.
Yep, great. For the everybody in
so
the audience, just so everybody knows just how smart exactly Karen is, every door direct mail delivers to every single door in a postal code, but it is a lot less expensive. And you can also send out larger flyers like that 9x12 for the same price as a regular postcard. So that's fantastic. That's great. So let's just say I'm a brand new agent. I know very little, just right out of real estate class so long ago. Bree, tell me, if you were to give me one recommendation, one thing for me to do in order for me to find your success, what would that be?
Boy, I mean, this is so cliche, but don't be afraid to work hard and market to the people that you already know and you already trust. So if you're a brand new agent and you're not putting every single person that you know into a CRM and dripping on them, you need to be. So that's my best advice as a new agent.
All right, perfect. And what about you, Karen? Do you have any great advice for me?
Yeah, I would say find a mentor. Like when I first got into the business, again, like I said, I found an agent that I respected, that was very knowledgeable, that had been in the business, for at least 15 years. And I learned a lot from that person. So I would say find a mentor.
Awesome. Great. Jeff, how about you? I'm brand new agent.
Definitely be working my sphere of influence, just people that I know, finding out who I know, who I know that knows, getting back to that corporate affinity idea. When you look at your database or your sphere of influence, not only do you have opportunity to represent those people in a buy-sell situation, but go one beyond. I call it the double gold mine. Go the one step beyond and ask them if they know of a key employee, a business manager, business owner, of a company between 50 and 1,000 employees. And all of a sudden now they can help you get an introduction with the decision maker, the HR manager, and all of a sudden now you're off to the races. And you might be able to do an extra 6 or 12 transactions your first year just by going out and finding 2 or 3 companies to represent that might have 200 or 300 employees each, and then you've established a base and you're off to the races.
Perfect. So Kelly, do you have any advice for me other than my sphere of influence?
Definitely I'll have to agree, sphere of influence is number one. But secondly, I would say be involved in something, and don't just join a board or a club to join it. Do something that resonates with you. When I first got into real estate, I had kids over at the high school, so I joined my local boosters and we did fundraisers for the school. And I still, to this day, those relationships that I made in boosters, I'm still getting referrals from those other parents that I worked with in that in those very first years. And then as my kids got older, I went into grad night for the high school, and now I'm an empty nester, so I've joined Seroptimists. So just really being involved and making sure that it does resonate with you, something that you are interested in. You're going to build great relationships, and they're going to send their friends and families to you over and over again.
That's great. That's awesome. Now, I'm actually I've begun to make the argument where I feel that sphere of influence is becoming less and less important, from the sense of just sending them a letter in the mail. I don't think a letter in the mail does what it does like it used to, I should say, or a postcard. Bree, you had mentioned dripping on your on your sphere of influence. Can you just elaborate a little bit on that, on the things that you're doing, or the things that you'd recommend to be done in order to have such an active sphere?
Sure. I mean, I think that if you're a new agent, and I was one too myself 15 years ago, you're concerned about the cost outlay, and you're concerned about what can you do that's not going to cost a lot of money but have high impact. So a couple of things that you can do is video marketing, email marketing, and social media. And if you can polish your skills on those 3 platforms, you're going to win all day long. And it's not going to cost you a lot of money, but it is going to cost you a lot of time. So finding a mentor that can help you with that, or just looking at what other top producing agents do can really be a boost.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Bree. I believe that video in itself, I've become very, very video heavy. Using social media platforms, you can become that celebrity, if you will, even if it's a small group of people, and that's going to keep you active in their minds. Kelly, Karen, Jeff, are you guys doing anything else that you'd consider to be, out of the box thinking, or have had great results in regards to your sphere of influence?
I've got one. Oh, go ahead, Kelly.
No. You go ahead. I'll go after you.
I was going to say, one thing that I've been experimenting with is LinkedIn and a program called Meet Alfred. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that or not, but with this COVID situation going on, everybody's working from home, and I think people have extra time on their hands because people aren't coming into their workspace or their office and bugging them, so to speak, or having conversations. So I've been doing been generating a lot of clients just literally for $300 a year by just friending people through this Meet Alfred program, and I would really take a look at it. I'm probably getting 2 clients a month from that program right now, so it's very cost effective, and so definitely look into it. I'll put a little something on the text here in a minute.
Great, Kelly, and how about you?
So going back to the video, I'm starting to do more video over the last year. I have a YouTube channel, and we do a lot of different things there. Sometimes they're just open house tours, since we can't do real open houses anymore. And then we'll do, I've interviewed folks that have businesses in my town, and I've done a little hometown tour. And then the other thing I'll do is I've partnered with a lender, and we do a show. We feature either a new home that just hit the market in the area, or we'll interview somebody about their business, and we do a little giveaway. And our videos usually get shared, some of them go up to 30 to 50 times. People are sharing our videos on their own personal Facebook page. So that's been really exciting, just building our audience with those videos. And it seems like when we interview somebody in the community, they share it on their page, and all of their friends and family share it. And then we end up with, folks following us that we would have maybe never met if we hadn't interviewed their friends. So that's been fun. And get to meet a lot of new people, and we're just informing our community.
Tell me, you've got me intrigued. What type of little competitions or things that you're doing in order to get other folks sharing?
So usually, if we're interviewing somebody, they give a discount or some type of swag for their business. And then when it's when we're just featuring an open house, then usually we'll do either a gift card to a local restaurant or a bottle of wine. It's kind of been all over, but we've had we had a pool guy recently that we interviewed, and he did half off your first month's service if he mentioned our show. And he actually told me that he's already picked up an account from the show. So pretty cool.
Great. Now, do they have to, in order for me to win a bottle of wine, what's my call to action? What do I have to do in order to get that done?
Like, comment, or share.
Like, comment, or share. Great. And you mentioned another great thing, which is building audiences. Just so people know, I don't know how familiar people are with Facebook as well as Google. You can build these audiences, and you can continue to put content back in front of these specific audiences that you've built over time. Facebook, social media today, as well as Google, just really powerful platforms in order to get your messaging out. The hard part is really creating that messaging. So to that point, in using video, Karen, do you use any video in your business?
Yeah, I actually started doing video in 2014, but I had to take care of a sick parent, so I kind of dropped off in 2016, and I'm just getting back into it. But what I was doing is I was doing videos of my neighborhood communities and the geographical farm that I focus on. So I do have a Facebook page. And just started about 3 months ago a YouTube page with my partner. So we are doing, when we do our monthly updates, we will do a video and post it on what the market has done in the past month in that particular neighborhood. So we'll do that. And also trying to focus on, like what Kelly's doing, local businesses, focusing on what restaurants are open during COVID, for example, just things like that. It's just time consuming, but in my opinion, you have to stay up with the social media and technology in order to move forward in your business. So that's what we're doing. And also just reaching out, I noticed too, during this time, reaching out to my sphere, just saying, hey, how's it going? Haven't talked to you in a while. Is there anything I can help you with? Because I think it's amazing the amount of my clients that were just so thankful for just someone picking up the phone and calling them, especially the ones that are alone or widowed. So to me, that's very special, and it does come back to you.
Great. All right, so let's fast forward. I'm kicking ass and taking names now, and I'm a sole proprietor, and I am busy up to my eyeballs. It's now time for me to build out my team. So we have three folks here with teams. What would be your biggest suggestion, biggest piece of advice that you'd have for me at this point in my career? And when am I ready to kind of start building that team? That's part two. And then part three, what should be the first piece of that team? The great part about this is there's going to be different opinions here. And, God knows I have my own. So let's hear it. Bree, what are your thoughts?
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start off by saying I am not an expert at this. I am still working at it. I have had my team for about 7 years, and I've learned a lot along the way. And what I would say is really sit down with yourself and decide what the core values are going to be for your team. And a lot of people talk about core values, so I'd love to share mine with you guys to give you some ideas. But on my team, we have 4 core values. One is relationships. Building relationships with our clients, with our community, and within our team. Number 2 is wealth building. Wealth building not only for ourselves, but for our clients. We have a large Coast Guard community, and one of the things that brings us great joy is when somebody transfers into the area and we can sell their house in 3 years and they have a pile of cash to go to their next stop. So we have relationships, wealth building, advocacy. Advocacy is our next core value, and that is, putting somebody else's needs before your own. And then let's see, the last one is education. Continuing to learn and hone our skills as agents, but also to educate our clients on the process. We do so many transactions that sometimes we get lost in the shuffle, and we're talking about acronyms and forget that sometimes our clients don't understand what that means. So just in summary, I would say to really start thinking about what you want your team to look like, what your core values are going to be. And for me, I knew it was time to start a team when the business was pulling me away from my family. And for me, that was at 40 transactions by myself. My husband is in law enforcement. He's now the sheriff of Clatsop County. And I knew that I couldn't keep up at that pace to be a good wife and a good mom. So that's when I decided to start a team, and I started slow. with an assistant first, and then I hired a buyer's agent. And from there, I have, like I mentioned earlier, 3 buyer's agents. All 4 of us on my team are in the top 10 in our market, and Deb on my team is number 1 in our market. So
That's awesome.
I am
Great.
super, super proud of what we've been able to build.
That's fantastic. And I have to say, I was late in doing the core values. I had a team of 20, and then I did my core values actually with the team, and they are instrumental in regards to building out teams. You need to hire to your core values. I couldn't agree with you more when you're hiring somebody, making sure, hey, are you checking the box? Because I'll tell you what, when I did those core values, that's when I started firing people. And let's put it this way, I went from 20 people down to 5 pretty darn quickly. So Karen, tell me, what would you advise me? How would you do? Okay, I'm starting my team, Karen. I'm listening to you. How do I do it?
So, okay. Well, I mean, I don't have a big team. I did at one point prior to 2005. There was 5 of us, but I would say if I had to do it again and advise someone how to do it, I agree with Bree. Once you start seeing yourself, like you're overwhelmed, you're not paying attention to yourself or your family, that's definitely time that you need to reevaluate, because I've missed a lot of family functions in many days in the beginning because I did not have boundaries. So once you get to that point, for me also, it was about 35 to 40 transactions. Then I actually hired a buyer's agent because my opinion of it was I needed money to still come in. So the buyer's agent also acted as a transaction coordinator for me. And then once that buyer's agent got to a point where they were overwhelmed, then we hired a full-time staff person. So that's how we did it and built it up to about 6 strong, like-minded agents.
Great. Awesome. And Kelly, how about yourself?
So
what would you advise me?
My team's still fairly new. I've only formed a team about a year ago, so we're still learning. But one of the greatest things that I've done is actually collaborate with other team leaders. We have an amazing group in Workplace that's all about teams. And I've actually messaged people and asked them how they structure their team. And I've met a lot of great agents doing that from all over the United States, but just kind of collaborating with other team leaders, learning from them what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and then bringing that back to your team. I always have everybody do the DISC profile. Because we're all in the office together, it's really important to me that we're all getting along and everybody's, really has that team mentality. So I make everybody do the DISC profile so I can see if they're a right fit for me. And then also in the beginning, I didn't really have a plan. And so that was kind of one thing that I realized really quickly. I needed to have a plan, like what is their role and what is my role as part of this team. And so putting that together was really important piece as well.
Great. Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that really helps with people that are thinking about building teams. I agree with what somebody said, that there's no one way to do it. It's I personally I don't bring in experienced agents. People are asking this question. I don't bring in experienced agents just because I have to break them down and retrain them, and it's hard to change bad habits rather than just training good habits in the beginning. There's 1.5 million different ways of doing it, and there is not one recipe for the true success. But I agree. I think it was Bree you were saying in regards to just having that work-life balance. That's ultimately why I created my team. It's the weekend. Come tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, and I'm going to be out my boat every single one of the days. And it's hard to do that unless you have a team. So let's pivot back to the consumer. So, I would have to think in order to be an icon, we have to deliver good customer service to our clients. What are some of the things that you guys are doing in order to deliver that amazing customer experience, if you will? Whether that's during the transaction, maybe if you can give one or two examples of out of the box, whether that's during the transaction or even after the transaction. So, Jeff, let's start with you.
Well, I think it's just really important to form a relationship. And, prior to the COVID situation, I used to spend half my life at Starbucks, just meeting my clients, for 45 minutes to an hour, getting to know them. It's not a situation where I get a client in my world and, hey, I'll go meet you out at 123 Elm Street. I think you have to meet with these people. And if they're not willing to meet with you, then they're probably not going to be a great client for you. And to me, it's all about education. In our high-tech world, a lot of old school real estate habits and things, have died off. Our clients are finding the home before we are for them. So we have to show our value. And our value is really through education and being their trusted advisor. So that would be my first my first comments there.
Great, Karen. How do you wow your clients? What do you do, whether it's during the transaction or after the transaction? What are some of the things that you do to actually truly wow them?
Well, I assess the situation they're in and determine how best I can help them. So I'm going to give you an example as to just explaining. So recently I had a listing where the seller was a hoarder. The sister was the power of attorney and took over to sell the house. So I was dealing with a sister out of town while the actual seller was in the hospital ill. So I actually, when I got the listing, they didn't even realize their house was in Liz Pendant's. So immediately, within 1 week, I was able to get everyone to put everything on hold, and I got the home sold in 2 weeks to an investor. They didn't have to lift a hand. They were so pleased. And for me, just to help them, the stress that they were under was just tremendous, because you have a power of attorney that's trying to deal with their sister in a hospital, while they've got this house that is a total mess that you can't even step 1 foot in anywhere. And I was able to get it emptied. I was able to stop Liz Pendant's and get them a sale that they were extremely pleased with during COVID, while Zillow's not, no one's even doing the iBuyer programs anymore, but I found a local investor that gave them a very good price. So that's an example of what I do. So you just assess the situation and just help them as best you can. Because you're not there just to sell a house and make a commission. You're there to build relationships and trust. And I guarantee you, I will get another referral somewhere down the road from those people that I helped.
Awesome. So listen and assess the situation. Couldn't agree more. Kelly, how about you? What are you doing to wow your clients? Like, how do you wow? Give me something to take home and implement in my business today in order to start wowing my clients.
Okay. It's going to go back to personal connections and just kind of being that mayor of your community. I have a whole team that helps me. So I've selected a home inspector that has amazing interactive reports. People are always, they love his reports. I've got a handyman that will, repair items and bill escrow. I've got somebody that will come in and clean. So it's really just kind of going back to what the previous speaker said. It's assessing the situation and personalizing it to them. A lot of my clients are military folks, and they're buying these homes sight unseen, and they don't see the house until the day they get their keys, and that happens quite often here. And so, making sure it's clean, and then what is their situation? Are they coming in and they're waiting 1 to 2 days for all their belongings to arrive? That happens too. So having snacks and things in the house ready for them. those are kind of some of the things. And then after the fact, I mean, we become friends, and I follow them on social media, and I drop things off on doors, send out birthday cards every year. So, you know, after the fact, I'm still around and acknowledging, you know, what's going on in their lives as well.
That's awesome, which I'm sure really helps your sphere of influence and really grows that part of the, you know, business, the future business down the road. Bree, what about you? How are you wowing your clients? What, you know, give me some takeaways in order to implement in my business today.
Sure, I'll give you guys some tangibles. Aside from delivering great, you know, customer service and helping people negotiate, what we have decided on our team is how can we deliver that Amazon Prime experience? I mean, how can we deliver an experience that's so easy for people in a very stressful time in their life? So anytime we take a listing, we offer 3 hours of cleaning from a professional cleaner. That usually takes a lot of stress off of people. And then we bring that cleaner in again at the end for that move out clean so they don't have to worry about it. We deliver flowers to their work the day that the listing goes live as a conversation starter. So people at their work saying, hey, why'd you get flowers? And the people can say, well, my real estate agent sent them because our house went on the market today.
Wow, that's awesome.
We offer home staging. We keep a storage unit with enough furniture to lightly stage 5 to 6 homes at any given time, and that's something that I pay for. I don't ever charge our client for staging. You can get on our Instagram pages and kind of see what our vacant listings look like. That cost me $150 a month for the staging storage unit, and then I spent about $5,000 on furniture a couple of years ago that probably needs to get a refresh on it.
Now, so, will the client be moving that furniture in, or do you have movers that do it?
We do. We have a handyman who does it, and then I have a listing coordinator who stages, and then we have a team minivan as well. So we have all of that stuff ourselves.
Great.
So we do that because in our market, we know that staged homes sell 79% faster and for 17% more. So that's something we offer. For people moving in sight unseen homes, we offer floor plans. So we'll have somebody come in with one of those Matterport machines to make up a floor plan so they can have dimensions. And then lastly, we send out a pending box that's delivered to their front door. So when we have a buyer client or a seller client that goes pending on a property that is local in our market, we'll deliver this really beautiful white box with a bow around it, and inside there's some branded cookies, there's a little bottle of champagne, a succulent, and a nice note saying, congrats, your home, you know, just went into a pending status. Can't wait to walk you across the finish line. So just those little added touches like that.
You know, just on that other side note, for that, with the little touches, for people in the audience, send out cards. I don't know if I've ever heard of them. But you can actually, there are packages like 2 brownies, or I mean, you can get, and they're actually really good brownies and cookies that you can send, and it's pretty seamless in that sense as well. If somebody's looking to do what Bree's doing, but isn't quite ready in order to do the fully customization, it's a really great touch point. So, so that being said, it's 12:15. I believe this ends at 12:30, right? Is that right?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. So, you know, just to make sure, if there are any questions, I figured let's just take some time to answer questions first, and then I have another couple of talking points if we wanted to jump back into it. So, anybody from the audience have any questions? Don't talk all at once. No.
Yeah, I have one. What was that lead gen tool? I think Jeff mentioned it, that he uses. He gets a couple of leads a month, I think, for about $300 a year.
Yeah, it's called Meet Alfred. So MEET and then Alfred, ALFRED, and it's an automated automated LinkedIn contact program. So you can pick your audience. So for instance, I have the national Boeing account, 153,000 employees, and so they are my audience, and I get about 15 engagements a day out of about 50 contacts. and at least twice a month, I'm getting either a buyer or a listing out of that. So I think any of you could adapt that to your own respective market. And for me, I'm on track to do somewhere between 8 and 12 transactions this year from that program. So it's a great base.
And for clarification purposes, that was $300 a month, right, Jeff?
No, actually $300 a year. It's like great. Incredible.
Great.
Where do you find such a program?
So we have a question. What was in the pending box again, Bree? Champagne?
Okay, sure. Yeah, if you guys want to text me, I can send a picture too. But the pending box is a miniature bottle of Frigidnet champagne, a succulent, and then I have a local candy shop dip Oreos in chocolate, and then our logo is on the top of them. And what else is in there? Cookies, a succulent, champagne, and the note.
Okay, great. And then sending card, I think that was Send Out Cards is the company for the sending the brownies or cookies or things like that. What's the best way to set up Facebook marketing for new agents? Just create the website and start with the videos, and you can keep track of your audiences. There's so much wealth of information, or so much to learn from Facebook, and there's a lot of videos out there. So we have somebody asking, what is the top 3 lead sources for you? So rapid fire. We'll start with you, Kelly. Top 3.
Top 3. Well, I've completely stopped buying all online leads. I don't have Zillow or Realtor. I've used them in the past, but everything's pretty much referrals or just my community involvement at this point. I do have a cool little Home Snap app that tells me who's thinking about selling in our neighborhood. It shows the level of likeliness for someone to sell. So we do a lot of marketing to those, sending them letters. But other than that, it's just going to be referrals and community presence for me.
Great. Jeff?
Yeah, corporate affinity for me, just working with small to medium-sized companies in your respective market. Everybody's got them. You guys should be working them. And number 2 is work the heck out of your database. It's a gold mine.
Just back to your sphere of influence. Karen, how about you?
Database. Yeah, past clients. That's my number 1 lead source. Next, I would probably be my networking groups that I'm in, and I do utilize the Make It Rain program with the KV Core.
Great. And how about you, Bree?
Sphere of influence, past clients, and for our team, Zillow.
Okay. For me, Facebook lead generation is number 1, followed by pay-per-click. I generate somewhere in the ballpark of 800 to 1,000 leads per month. And then third would be referrals. So great. So to that point, must-have systems. So we got a couple of minutes left. So must-have systems. Bree, what is a must-have system that you have that you could not live without?
Well, maybe not a system, but the person I can't live without is my business manager, Mallory, and she's on vacation this week.
Oh, so you're in purgatory right now. I gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So she does all of our transaction management. I mean, when folks join my team, all they have to do is write contracts and set appointments. All of the transaction work is done.
Great.
And
that's awesome.
Mallory does that for all of us.
She sounds like an awesome lady. Karen, how about you?
I need a Mallory.
Yeah.
So what the question was, what is your
system? A system you can't live without. And
yeah, my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, then it's not real.
So okay, and just to go back, because we have a CRM question, Bree, what CRM are you using?
Follow Up Boss, and that's another tool that I feel like I can't live without as team lead. I love Follow Up Boss because it syncs with everyone's emails. So right now, when Mallory's on vacation and Lee, one of my agents, is on vacation, soon to go on maternity leave, I can hop in there and see every conversation she's had with all of her past clients and current clients. So I can step right in and it's seamless. So yep. I love Follow Up Boss.
Karen, how about you? What CRM are you using?
Yeah, I just use the KV Core system that we're given.
$3.99. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Jeff, and what's a system that you can't live without, and what CRM are you using? And maybe that's the system you can't live without.
Right. Yeah. So I would say an Excel spreadsheet for me, with my corporate clients, these guys are come in and out of my world within typically a couple weeks. So, no incubation, no credit challenges. These guys are teed up, ready to go. So just if I had a napkin, I could keep track of my clients pretty easily. But I do use Hot Prospector as my CRM. It has a lot of integration and a lot of horsepower behind it to keep in contact. So
great. And how about you, Kelly?
So I have a Tara, and she's my assistant, and she pretty much runs my office and helps me in many different ways. And so I don't think that I could do what I do without her. And I use Wise Agent. I really like it. It's got some cool tools for sending out newsletters or quick emails for holidays. It has reminders, so you can set a reminder to follow up with leads, and then it will, when you log in, it'll show you what calls you need to make that day. So I'm really liking Wise Agent a lot, and I think it's like $27 a month I'm paying.
Great. Awesome. Just for me, I currently use CR Interactive. I mean, if that would be the last system that I would go. Last thing that I would I guess cut it in expense wise. But the system that I just makes my life so much easier, increases conversion, and has just been a godsend to my business is called Structurally. It is artificial intelligence. When you are generating anywhere in the ballpark of 800 to 1,000 leads per month, having artificial intelligence in order to make sure those leads are being followed up with is a very, very, very important thing for me. So for me, it's Structurally. So we had a question in regards to how many contacts per day on average are the icons making, which is a really great question. And it really all depends, obviously, if we're still in the business. So for me, I'm not really actively selling, so I'm making pretty much zero. What about you, Bree?
Oh gosh, I should have this number memorized, and I don't. But here's what I do know. With using Follow Up Boss, I could tell you, but not off the top of my head, how many contacts it takes to get a mutually accepted deal and how many appointments it takes. And I know it takes 3 appointments to get 1 accepted deal. And I think it's like 10 calls for 1 appointment.
That's pretty good numbers right there if it's 10 calls for 1 appointment. Karen, how about you? How many contacts are you making a day?
Yeah, I just every day I try and follow up with my database, and I try and make 30 contacts through my database.
30. Okay. Jeff, how about you?
Yeah, so 5 contacts a day in my database, and then I get at least 2 kind of teed up, ready to go buyer or seller clients each week. So that's what 100 a year or so, and that converts to 50 to 70 transactions a year.
Okay, and Kelly?
Gosh, I don't think I'm organized enough to answer this question. I don't have a number. I usually will check in with friends, probably 2 to 3 a day. And then I recently listened to this really cool podcast, and they said that the 10 across and the 10 down rule, going on Facebook and Instagram and engaging 10 across would be the stories at the top. So engaging with 10 stories and then going down into posts and engaging with 10 posts from your friends. So that actually has been really awesome. Just, using social media to stay in touch. It really does count as an interaction with your clients.
Right. Yeah, and so the team metric that I have found is 50 calls per day per buyer agent. For me, I find is a recipe for success. So essentially 250 dials per week, which, by the way, you can make 25 to 30 calls per hour on our dialer. So you're looking at 2 hours of lead conversion per day, which is kind of a joke, but those are the numbers to whoever asked that question in regards to that we really see a lot of success if we can have an agent hit. So great. Well, to that point, it is 12:26. So any last specific questions? Otherwise, I really appreciate all of the sharing. I think you guys have really given some great, hopefully gold nuggets that people can utilize and use in their business today. So any other questions? No? Oh, nope. Great. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate, again, you guys sharing so much. Hopefully you guys got a lot from it. And yes, have a fantastic day. Oh, best time to call leads. 8 to 10, 5 to 7 for me. Anybody else?
Whenever I can. I don't have it.
Whenever you have time. Perfect. All right. Thanks again, guys. Everybody have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Jeffrey. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks. Great stuff.